The air at my brother's funeral carried the scent of lilies, and something heavier, like regret. People wept, embraced, whispered condolences that sounded hollow. I stood beside my wife, one hand resting on our daughter's shoulder, wearing grief like a mask I couldn't quite feel. Then she tugged at my sleeve. "Dad," she murmured, her voice trembling, "we need to leave.
Now."
I glanced down at her pale face, her wide, frightened eyes. "Why?" I asked quietly. "Please, let's just go," she insisted, her tone far too mature for a 9-year-old. We slipped away in silence. Inside the car, the quiet grew dense, buzzing with something unspoken. I drove, waiting for her to explain. After a long moment, she whispered, "You really didn't see it?" "See what?" I asked, gripping the wheel tighter. "The baby." My chest tightened. "What baby?" She met my gaze through the rearview mirror. "Uncle Nathan's baby." Mom was holding her. For a heartbeat, everything inside me stopped, then came rushing back all at once, loud and chaotic. The rest of that day blurred, like a dream fading under anesthesia. My wife stayed quiet, distant. She said she was exhausted from the funeral, but the way she moved around the house, careful, deliberate, too calm, felt rehearsed. That night, while she showered, I checked her phone. The passcode had been changed. She'd never done that before. I stared at the locked screen until the water stopped, then lay in bed pretending to sleep as she climbed beside me. But my mind was wide awake, replaying years in reverse. The late nights, the visits to Nathan's house when he was sick, how she'd avoid my eyes every time I mentioned his name. At the funeral, she had looked shattered. Too shattered. And now my daughter said she was holding his baby. I wanted to dismiss it as childish confusion. But kids notice things adults refuse to see. The next morning, after dropping my daughter off at school, I drove straight to Nathan's place. The gate was still wrapped in black ribbon. His neighbor, Mrs. Lang, was trimming flowers near the fence. "Terrible loss," she sighed softly. "Yeah," I replied. "Did anyone live with him before he passed?" Her eyes flickered. "A woman for a while. Pretty one. Dark hair. Came by often near the end." My stomach tightened. My wife had dark hair. Mrs. Lang added quietly, "She brought a baby last month. Sweet little girl." I thanked her and walked back to my car, my hands trembling. I needed to know. If there was a baby, there'd be proof, records, photos, something. So I searched hospital logs, social media, anything. Then I found it. A post hidden under a fake profile. A newborn wrapped in a soft blue blanket. The caption read, "Welcome, Lily. Your daddy loved you more than life." The account name was Arrow, but behind the filtered face it was her, my wife. When I confronted her, I didn't yell or break things. I simply printed the photo and placed it on the kitchen table. She came home late. The moment she saw the picture, she froze. Her hand covered her mouth. Silence filled the room. "You weren't supposed to find out," she whispered at last. Her words didn't cut, they confirmed. The truth hadn't been hidden, it had been thrown away. "How old?" I asked quietly. Her lips trembled. 6 months. "And Nathan?" She closed her eyes.
"He needed someone."
"I thought he was dying." "And you thought I'd never know?" She said nothing. For the first time, I didn't see the woman I'd married. I saw the stranger she'd slowly become. The next day, I went to the lawyer handling Nathan's estate. I told him about Lily. He nodded and said the will had been updated 2 weeks before Nathan's death, everything left to his daughter, Lily. I smiled, but it wasn't happiness. When I returned home, she was on the couch, crying, waiting for anger or forgiveness. I offered neither. "I spoke with Nathan's lawyer," I said. Her head snapped up. "What?" "They'll need proof. DNA. Your cooperation." Her face went pale. "You wouldn't." I raised a hand. "You can have your truth," I said softly. "But you'll carry it alone." I handed her an envelope, plane tickets with her name and the baby's. "You're sending me away?" she whispered. I didn't reply. She already knew.
3 days later, she was gone.
No note. No goodbye. Now, the house feels vast and silent. Sometimes I catch my daughter staring out the window at night. I think she misses her mother. But I don't. I miss the illusion, the comfort of ignorance. Now there's only truth.
Cold. Heavy.
Unforgiving. At the funeral, I thought it was Nathan we buried. I was wrong. It was my marriage. And standing over that grave now, I finally understand what my daughter meant that day in the car. I really hadn't noticed. Not until it was already gone.